A couple somewhere in the world just celebrated their 79th wedding anniversary and are looking forward to celebrate their 80th, 90th, and even 100th wedding anniversary together. But here in this part of the world where I am, some couples will never respect the sanctity of marriage. They would always have problem understanding what the institution is all about and why it was established in the first place. Nowadays, most couple wants to know the expiry date of their marriage, not the issue of longevity. An expiry date of the marriage is a day they always look forward to, probably because they know it was going to come. They will longishly wish that the day will approach speedily with each passing moment. Don't be surprised to know that we have expiring dates in marriages all over the globe these days. If not, why would someone keep telling everyone that marriage is not a do or die affair at the slightest provocation? Some couples don't even want to hear that it is absolutely rewarding to learn how to tolerate each other and do things in unison. Peace and harmony are the virtues they are required to embrace and eschew unethical norms tearing them apart on a daily basis. Ignorance is a bliss, some people would always say, but that ignorance has done more harm than good. It is far-fetched that a couple will prefer to be at loggerheads with each other and also deal decisively with each other when crossed, instead of professing deep affection as expected. Can you imagine? And that is the reason why every conflict would always be allowed to degenerate to a barnacle of hatred and aggression, paving way for pent-up anger to raise up its ugly head with pride. In fact, this new generation has turned marriage into something that has no value. The image of marriage has been bastardized completely. It's no exaggeration to say that marriage has lost its luster. But that does not and would never stop happy marriages from flourishing like beautiful flowers absorbing the warmth of a yellow sun on a beautiful day. People derive unspeakable joy from celebrating divorce these days. How did we get here? Have you noticed that marriage vows means nothing to some couples these days? Everything has changed within a twinkle of an eye, as if tomorrow would never come. Young people will get married today and interfering busybodies will be expecting a breakup as soon as the nuptial knot has been tied. The said interfering busybodies always believe that the dissolution of the marriage will soon take place. And before someone would say happy married life to the newlyweds, you'll be surprised to hear that they are already having issues. The next thing you will hear that the marriage has already been dissolved in the courts or somewhere else personal to them. They will tell you that things are not always what they seem. It depends on the perception of the individual. If a couple has unrealistic expectation after getting married, chances are that things will fall apart in that marriage if care is not taken or things will not all go well. When that happens, you will hear things like, everything did not work out as I thought it would. If I had known, I wouldn't have gotten married to a stranger. I wish I never met such a person in my entire life. In fact, that marriage never existed. What a regret. Are you kidding me? Oh, what a shame. If you ask me, I would say some people are gross embodiments of disgrace to humanity. The most annoying part of this display of irresponsibility is that the couple sees nothing wrong with washing their dirty linens in the open because they believe that there is nothing left to conceal. Sometimes innocent children will be involved and they'll be subject to all manner of plights that they know nothing about. Having made their offspring vulnerable to cruelty, the couples will go their separate ways unperturbed as if nothing happened. Trying to unravel the mystery surrounding the nonchalant attitude of this new generation is actually a difficult task. Their lukewarm attitude towards the sanctity of marriage is nothing to write home about. They just don't care what seems morally right, just because they've always capitalized on their instincts. That's what matters most to them, and nothing else can be compared to that. Who would then remind them how necessary it is to create time for affection and fun in their marriage. Even if someone considers it done if need arises, who would listen to them? The fact remains that such advice will fall on deaf ears. On the other hand, the so called feminists are not helping matters these days. Truth be told, they have no regards for marriage, let alone respect their husbands if they have one, title holders or not. Well, let's say gender equality is the bone of contention here, but that does not mean that they will ever understand that everyone deserves respect no matter what happens. I'm yet to understand why this visible feud between men and women is still escalating like a wildfire raising the forest. Instead of these feminists of looking at possible ways of ensuring that this problem is permanently eradicated, they are hell-bent on fueling the inferno. If someone is doing a particular thing monotonously and keeps anticipating a different result at the end, he or she is experiencing a chronic hallucination, so to speak. Who is fooling who? Let me pause before I mistakenly pour a gallon of petrol on a raging inferno or sprinkle salt on a festering wound on purpose. These feminists that will implore other women who are not morally vested to do in accordance with their spoken words, but instruct them not to emulate anything they are doing. Feminists don't like competition at all. They would always stand out from those women they are dishing instructions to. It hasn't occurred to those women who are grappling with inferiority complex that they are better off without those parading themselves as feminists. These so-called feminists are just women whose hearts are filled with bitterness and hatred. At least, that is my own definition of the word. Unfortunately, some good women with the right mindset has been misled in the past just because they've chosen to listen to the teachings of those recalcitrant feminists. Ignorance at the peak. These feminists know that there are susceptible ones out there who are gullible to everyone's liking, and that's the reason they would always continue to take advantage of their ignorance and stupidity. One can only be deceived if the person creates spacious room for that. Apart from that, it will never happen. Well, it is laughable that some people can't even distinguish between illusion and reality. That alone makes it possible for deception to wax stronger every passing day. Now, hear it from me. Marriage is good. What you invest in marriage is what you stand to reap. If you lay the foundation of your marriage on a good structure, it will always be a formidable force before any storm confronting it. It is just what you make of it and nothing else. There is no rocket science in it. It's just as you lay your bed, so you will lay on it. Check out this video here and do well to subscribe to my channel. As always, thank you so much for watching and do have a good one.